Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new podcast here on the channel. We are back. We took a little hiatus, had our own little bye week, and we are back. A brand new podcast, episode 62. We got a lot in store for you guys today. And once again, I'm joined by Justin. How we doing, man?
Dude, the bye week was awesome. I got to relax, recharge, touch some grass, get outside, man. See new worlds, see new regions, explore new things, see what life's really about. It was really enlightening too. So it was awesome, man. How was your bye week?
It was good. Pretty much did the same shit we always do. Watch football, enjoy life,
No,
work, see some
I don't watch
family.
football.
Oh, you don't watch football?
No, I don't
Oh
watch
yeah, I
football
watched
anymore.
watched the shitty Sixers. That's what I've been watching too. 2-11. Oh my god, they
Oh.
suck. That's another story.
Trade Jordan Embiid. Trade Jordan Embiid.
Yeah, they're bad
It's
right now.
time.
They,
It's time.
they dude, Maxey called him out and everything. It was
Yeah,
just
it's a dumpster fire.
it's a dumpster fire right
That
now.
the worst take I ever had was putting them in the finals this year. That's the worst take I ever had.
You put them in the final. Oh yeah, you
Whenever
did.
we,
Yep, yep. Well, I was realistic with mine, and I had the
I'm
Celtics.
like, fuck.
But the
I
Cavs
just wanted to
15 and
see it
0.
happen.
Cavs 15-0, pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll last, but good for them for a good
they're
start to the
legit.
season.
They're legit, man.
But enough of NBA talk. We got to transition back to the NFL. Let's talk about it. Daniel Jones, this is why everyone's here. He has now officially been benched and has played his last snap as a New York football giant. 6 years in the making. The Daniel Jones era is now officially over. And I told you, by Thanksgiving, we should know. We should know. And yeah, he's just not the guy. What I think he was 3-13 ever since signing that contract. And 2 of the wins are coming this year. Had 1 win last year off the torn ACL. And now we're turning over to Tommy DeVito. Not Drew Lock. You were thinking Drew Lock. No. Jared's like, we don't want to even see Drew Lock. We want to evaluate our future with Tommy DeVito here because he's only on a 1-year deal, Drew Lock, $5 million. And another reason why they're not playing him as well is because he has some incentives tied to his deal and he could be making more money if he plays a certain amount of snaps. So that's another reason why Drew Lock isn't playing. But Tommy DeVito is getting the start now for the rest of the season, unless he starts stinking it up and maybe we do see Drew Lock. But yeah, it was time. Daniel Jones had to rip the Band-Aid off. Our offense is putrid with him. There's plenty of games this season where we're going down the field, stupid turnover after stupid turnover, right? And just the missed throws, the misreads, holding on the ball too long. We didn't even talk about that Panthers game, man. That flea flicker that was designed, he had Wandale Robinson wide open. He had Malik Neighbors wide open. And the game in Germany there, right? He's just holding on to the ball, was scared to throw. I feel like, his time is done. It's done. We failed him, and he failed us. It was a collective failure. We didn't set him up from the start. We didn't give him an offensive line. We never got him any weapons, right? Bring in a new GM. We had Saquon for a little bit, but he wanted to, he thought Jones was the guy. That was a mistake there. Jones was not the guy. We should have re-signed Saquon. He was the heart and soul of our team. Now look what he's doing with the Philadelphia Eagles. So, Daniel Jones, he's a great guy. I'll give him that. I'll give him his flowers there. He's a great guy. And, he was trying to be like an Eli Manning, was always nice to the media and always was respectful and that aspect as well. But yeah, Daniel Jones as a player just never had the talent. Coming out of the draft in 2019, we all knew it was a reach, 6 overall pick. That draft, I wanted Dwayne Haskins and I wanted Josh Allen. And we got Daniel Jones. I've said it from the start. I'll show you a clip after this. And I have proof that I wanted those guys. But all in all, I'll wrap it up here. It was meant to be. Daniel Jones has officially been benched, And now Tommy DeVito is now officially starting for the rest of the season. Turn it over to you, man.
Oh man, it took you 6 years to finally move off of him.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah, so round of applause for you guys. Pat yourselves on the back. Yeah, so while I was in the bye week, right? BenchWire bye week, during my hiatus, during my adventures, my excursions, my travels, during the week, I came across some friends, right? And they were like, "Oh, Mr. BenchWire, Mr. BenchWire." I'm like, "Who? Me? Mr. BenchWire?" They're like, "Yes. We didn't think Daniel Jones would get benched." I'm like, "Yeah, Daniel Jones get benched. Yes, yes, yes. He'll get benched. It's a matter of when." This was before he got benched, right? It was during the last week. And it's like, why? Why do you think that? It's like, because if you don't bench him soon, Brian Dable's coaching for his job. That's what I think. And for him, he had to move. He had to move off of Jones because if the offense improves under, well, I guess Tommy DeVito, if the offense looks better, I think it could potentially save his job in that regard. If the offense still is flat and stinks and the offense has no life to it, then maybe you'll see a pivot there and they fire Brian Dable as well. So I think he had to make it for his job too. There was a report that said his seat's getting a little hot, it's sizzling a little bit. So he had to make the move for his own sake to try to win a couple games, right? They're not going to win every game, but maybe they can sneak out a couple wins. We'll see. We'll see if they do that. But yeah, it was just kind of like I said, the biggest contract, right? Daniel Jones, $40 million, big contract, and it was a bad one. It was one of the worst in history. You could argue, giving him that $40 million, letting Saquon walk, and to a division rival. You know, John Mara's not sleeping at night, right? He's having nightmares. He's having visions of him just
We
haunting
got
him
Tyrone. He's not
every
the
night.
same.
No, it's not this. It's not the
He's
same.
not the
It's not the
same, but
same.
for a
It's
fifth
not the same.
rounder, he's been productive.
But Saquon, you know, the situation in New York was never really a good one. You know, if you looked at Saquon drafted number 2, he never truly lived up to the number 2 overall pick billing there, and that wasn't necessarily his fault, as we're finding out with Philly. It's just they never got the offensive line right that they've been trying to figure out since Eli Manning was your quarterback. So they've been trying to figure out the roster, and it never got good. He had to go through coaching regimes, Joe Judge era, Brian Dable era, and I think it was with Pat Shurmur a bit too, his first year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he had to go through a lot there. So he never lived up to the number 2 billion, but now he's looking like that. So I say that to say Daniel Jones, yeah, the situation wasn't great, but he's been given opportunity after opportunity with that, with the Giants brass knowing that too, that it wasn't the best situation. But I don't know how you could get worse from. It looks like he's getting worse as he plays on. Like he grinded his last year. He played okay, he played relatively well, or played himself in that contract, and then it's like he doesn't care as much anymore. So he's going to get the 40 million this year, and last year he has that. So good for him. But now we'll probably see him as a backup now. So yeah, it's the end of an era. I'm sure Giants fans are excited. I know you're kind of waiting for the draft to be here. You're going to probably look at Cam Ward, right? Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart. There's some good quarterback prospects coming out. So I know you guys will be tuning into the bowl game to see what they got and see what potential they have. And I personally, I know you don't think it, but I think this quarterback class is pretty good. I like some of the talent there, but yeah, I think it was a matter of time, and I think it was too late. I think they should have strike it sooner, kept Saquon, and especially if you wanted to see if Jones could play well. Like he had an elite running back, and now you have a great receiver, like up and coming receiver, Neighbors now, and you couldn't get them both together to give Jones one true last chance too, which kind of sucked. But even now, if you draft someone, having Saquon there could make it so much easier for that rookie quarterback coming in too. And yeah, it's going to be, if you do it right, it's going to take a few years to get back into that Super Bowl conversation, but you have to do it correctly. That's the key. Is Joe Shane that guy? I personally don't think so. I think the couple of moves he did, letting Saquon go, extending Jones, were mistakes. And I think he'll get fired for that. I think you need to move off of him. And like I said, Dable's probably coaching for his job right now. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the New York Giants, man. Let's see what happens the rest of the way.
Yeah. So you think Shane gets fired after the
Yeah,
season?
I think those are fireable offenses in my opinion.
Okay. But he didn't save his
Yeah.
job with the draft class he's had.
No, how much of that was scouting department? Like I could bring in my Eagles here. Everyone's giving Howie Roseman for finding Cooper DeSheen and Quinyon Mitchell and Zach Bond, but how much of that was Vic Fangio? I think most of it was because Howie doesn't really hit on defensive players in the draft, and those guys he hit on, and Vic Fangio liked Bond. He was an edge rusher, and he said, "Hey, this guy could play inside linebacker," and he's balling out. So I think we just throw a lot of the credit on GMs for finding players, but it also goes mostly to scouting departments and the coaching staff. So I would give it to those guys first, and then you give Shane credit for getting him the contracts, bringing him in. Sure, I'm sure he plays a little part in scouting, but ultimately it's like the scouting department's like, hey, I like these guys. So for your draft class, yeah, they're playing well, but doesn't that attribute more to your scouting department and some of the coaches you have more so than Joe Shane? That's where I would
Yeah.
argue.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but people are going to argue that is the case why he saved his job, possibly. But yeah, letting Saquon go was obviously the wrong decision there. But yeah, we'll see. They're playing for their jobs here. They win a few games with Tommy DeVito. You never know. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's up in the air, and there's plenty of coaching candidates that are going to be available. Right? You got Belichick, Vrabel, Ben Johnson, possibly. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys out there, and yeah, they could easily part ways. So enough with the Giants. Let's move on to some good football teams. Let's talk about them Buffalo Bills. They got the job done. We both were wrong. They beat the undefeated Chiefs. We both had the Chiefs in that matchup winning this game. Justin, I want to ask you, are you concerned with Mahomes and Chiefs, losing?
Yeah, Mahomes is a great player, so I know either way he'll find ways to win. I'm not questioning that. The dude's a winner, no doubt about it. 3-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time MVP. The dude knows how to win. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of our lifetime. So there's no taking anything away from him. Just this season, though, however, sometimes people, you're the hunted, right? And playing deep in the seasons we're seeing with the 49ers. 49ers have deep playoff runs. Sometimes you get fatigued and you're wear out a little bit. You're not playing good football. He's not having his best season, right? You can name a few quarterbacks that have statistically and just by watching have had better seasons than him. So am I concerned a little bit? Yes, because the offense hasn't been figuring out and the defense has been playing their asses off and they've been competing their tails off, and they are the reason why they were 9-0 when going into this game. So, yeah, I felt like Mahomes in this game in particular, Josh Allen outplayed him. He played better than him. This is the matchup between them two is always fun. I think they're 4-3, 4-4. They always split. It's always a close game. It's always fun to watch between those two. They're the two best quarterbacks in the league. I am a little bit concerned. I'm not going to sound the alarm just yet because they can figure it out like they did last year and turn it around. But also on the other side, I've seen a team that was 10-1 last year, my team, my Eagles, and they couldn't figure it out. So you can have collapses. So that's why I'm a little bit cautious because I've seen it with teams before where they start off hot and they cool off and they can't buy a win anymore. Like they say, wins are hard to come by in the NFL. It's super hard to get. So I can see them. So they could lose out. I doubt it. I doubt they're really well coached. They have a great quarterback. They have really good pieces. So I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, man. I think you got to pause and you could say it could happen. Even though I don't think so, it could. But yeah, I think the Chiefs will be fine. It's just that Mahomes is playing his best football, and that's fine. You don't have your best season, and I'm sure he can turn it around and salvage it, and they can be back to back to back three-peat, man. They could three-peat if they turn it around. So they still got time. They'll win the AFC West, but we'll see how they stack up in the playoffs, man. That's going to be the true test. They'll make the playoffs. They'll win the West. They'll get a home playoff game at least. I think it'll come down to home field between them and the Bills, I think, too. I think it's going to be them, too, when it's all said and done for the AFC home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, hell of a game. And, dude, I just wanted to transition. Josh Allen is the MVP right now. Dude's been balling. Dude's sensational. He doesn't need Stephon Diggs. The Amari Cooper addition helps a little bit. Yeah, he has a bum wrist. He was making nice catches. He had the nice sideline over the shoulder catch. It was a good throw by Josh. But yeah, Josh Allen's not turning the football over. He's doing it with his legs, doing it with his arm. Just an unbelievable quarterback. So I got to give him my MVP nod right now.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. But for the Chiefs, I'm not really concerned. It's a regular season game. I believe every time the Bills and the Chiefs matched up in the regular season, the Bills are undefeated. They're 4-0 with the Josh Allen, Mahomes games there. So it doesn't really matter. It matters when, you're in the playoffs and, your team's on the line and you're playing for Super Bowl. That's when it matters the most. And that's when the Chiefs and Mahomes show up. So, the game was close there at the end. The Chiefs had a shot. And, the Chiefs are still banged up. They don't have Pacheco. He's going to be coming back, right? And, yeah, I just think Mahomes, he's just in a little bit of a funk right now, but he always turns on that switch come playoff time. I'm not really worried about the Chiefs right now. They're still 9-1, and I think they'll win a division with these, even though the Broncos might be creeping up in the Chargers there. But I still think they're the favorites to win a division, and I'm not worried at all. Andy Reid, that coaching staff, Spags, even Matt Nagy, they're a good coaching staff. They'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it at all. They're just banged up, and they got to find ways to win with the players that they have now on the offensive side of the ball. So I think that's what it is, and just give them a few weeks. I think they'll get back in a groove there. And with the Bills, yeah, they are the best team in their division, and I feel like they give, the most concern there for the Chiefs to potentially, beat them there in the playoffs. I feel like it's them, and I don't know if it's the Ravens. I really don't know if it's the Ravens, but I just think, the Bills, I like Josh Allen more than Lamar Jackson right now. I just do. I just think he's a better quarterback. I always have, always will. And yeah, he's got to be the MVP favorite right now. He has been playing lights out. He's been protecting the football, been getting the job done, and winning these big games. The Ravens did beat the Bills, though, earlier this season, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That did happen.
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
But I feel like the Bills are a different team now at this point in time, and the Ravens are a different team right now. So come playoff time, we'll see who's better, but I'm still taking Josh Allen over Lamar right now, and I feel like they are the runners-up right now to the Chiefs and the AFC. I feel like those are the two best teams. And, yeah, the Bills will definitely win that division. That division is weak. So, yeah, I like the Bills. I'm really excited to see what they could do and if they could put it all together and go on a run here. But you just got to see. But it was a good win. You just got to, show the up come playoff time and beat these Chiefs. So that's where I stand on that. Let's move on to our next topic. Another team that could potentially be a threat to the Chiefs and the Bills. The Steelers. Here they come. They just beat the Ravens. Are the Steelers legit contenders, Justin, for the Super Bowl? What do you think?
Yeah, I think they have a championship defense. I think that defense can play against anyone, contain anyone. We saw it this week, man. Lamar Jackson looked like a shell of himself. He wasn't. Mike Tomlin has the book on it, man. When you play in those divisional games, it's super tough, right? They know how to scheme up with you better because they see it more. So, yeah, they played well. That defense is phenomenal everywhere. Like Patrick Queen balled out, who they took from the Ravens, right? He balled out, fumble recovery, forced fumble, like 10 tackles, something ridiculous like that. He was everywhere. TJ Watt, sensational, and yeah, man, they're just loaded. loaded defensively. The offense is a little bit of a. It's not. I don't know if you could. You could. I think you can win a Super Bowl even with Russell Wilson there if you have lockdown defense. Russell Wilson not making many mistakes. I think he's good enough from the pocket to win you Super Bowls. I know he has a good deep ball. He's pretty accurate still with the football, so I think he could still win. So to answer your question, yes, I do think the Steelers are legit Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I think they have to be. That defense has been pretty darn good. And Russell Wilson, he does make the throws when he need it. His deep ball has been elite this year. But the thing is, they just got to find ways to punch it in the end zone there. What, Chris Boswell have
True.
like 6 field goals? You got to find ways to punch it in the end zone. The Bengals against this Ravens team, right? They were lighting them up. Joe Burrow had like 5 touchdowns every time he's played the Ravens this year. So you just got to find ways to score. I know they got a better offense, you could say. They got Jamar Chase, right? And they got Chase Brown, T. Higgins, all that. But the Steelers, they got weapons. They got George Pickens. They just acquired Mike Williams, Pat Freiermuth. He's solid. Najee Harris. They got guys there. It's about putting it all together and finding, the right play calling to get in the end zone there. They have the players to do it. I think they're capable. It's still only Russell Wilson's, third, fourth game there. So I feel like they'll figure it out. It's still early yet, but they're finding ways to beat Commanders, who supposedly good. You think they're good. The Ravens, they're good, right? They're one of the better teams in the AFC. So, the Steelers, they could win a division here. We will see. But they're, in the driver's seat right now. They're in the control, making that happening. But, yeah, I think that Steelers defense has been elite. They got Joey Porter. He's been locked down this year. And got to credit that. TJ Watt and company. So, and Mike Tomlin, people shit on him. Oh, he doesn't get the job done. Doesn't go to the Super Bowl. Hasn't been a Super Bowl since, back in 2009 or whatever it was. So, or no, they won 2011, but haven't won since 2009. So, this guy knows how to win football games. I just feel like it's been, a few years since he's had a competitive team to, showcase how good he's been roster-wise. So,
it doesn't help going against Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, too.
And yeah, that, Mahomes, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So, I think Mike Tomlin, he deserves his job. He's one of the best coaches in the league, and that's why he still has his job to this day. But yeah, it's just a matter of then putting it all together this year. And I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl this year, but they will be in the run to win a Super Bowl. I just feel like it's the first year with Russell Wilson there and that offense finally getting better, finally not having Canada as your offensive coordinator there. And Arthur Smith, he hasn't been bad. They've been winning games with Justin Fields, winning games with Russell Wilson in his limited time there. So, a full off season, I feel like, with them, get the right pieces in there, get some more weapons to add to the arsenal. I think they can be, one of those teams competing for the trophy. But this year, I don't know if they're going to win it all. But I think they easily can win a division this year if they play like they did last week and beat the Ravens. They just got to find ways to put it into the end zone there. That's my only concern for them. But yeah, enough about the Steelers. Let's talk about your Dirty Birds. Let's talk about Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat up on your boy. They beat up on Jaden Daniels and them Washington Commanders, who you thought was going to win. I don't know how. I could just, when you look at those two teams, you're telling me the Eagles are going to lose to the Commanders because of coaching, right? Dan Quinn, Nick Sirianni. You rather have
quarterback.
And quarterback. I get that. But I feel like the Eagles roster on paper, right? Offensive line, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, right? The defense. They've been playing good. They've been playing as a unit. Those edge rushers have been getting after the quarterback now. You got some young studs in the secondary there. You're telling me you're not taking your team against the Commanders there? How dare you? How dare you? I don't just now if they play again, you taking them? That's what I want to know.
I'm gonna take it Commanders at home. Yeah, probably. Yeah, why not?
Taking Commanders at home?
I might, maybe.
Wait, you guys play the Commanders at home?
No, Commanders home
You play
game.
at Commanders? Say okay. I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, dude, that game was a blowout. You know, the Eagles should have
Well,
won by more than
what
what
was
they
the
did.
score? The score at halftime was like 10-3.
10-3. But
It
see,
was
that's
three
the thing.
Commanders.
The Eagles, I don't know if you watch their games. They're not a first half team. If they stay
Oh, I
within
know.
if they stay within a possession, they usually win the game. They're a second half team. As you saw,
Yeah.
what they do, they tire teams. And Saquon Barkley sparks that team. He is your MVP right now. He has been killing it. Right? What leads the league in rushing right now? He's been a stud.
He's in scrimmage yards, so like rushing
Scrimmage
and
yards.
receiving. Yeah.
Okay. He's been a dog. He's been like that. I'm telling you, man. I think the Eagles. We could also say this: they haven't really played anybody yet because their strength of their schedule has been easy so far. Right? They've been beaten up on some bad teams, but like on paper, that Eagles team, they're pretty good. You got to give them credit. I'm giving you guys credit right now. You should enjoy this. I rarely do this. But the thing is, you're going to say, well, we still have Nick Sirianni. That is true. But Nick Sirianni has found ways to win. He's like one of the most winningest coaches in NFL history, according to winning percentage. Is that correct? He's like top 5 in NFL history.
That's how you lie with numbers, man. Numbers are a lie.
Numbers are a lie?
Yeah,
You're not a
aren't all
stats
true.
guy. You're not a stats guy.
No. You have to watch the game because if you look at the stats, you're like, "Oh, he's a good coach." But if you watch the game, you're like, "Well, what? Why the hell did he decide to do that? Why did they refuse to run the ball? Why did they throw in it every play? Why did they go for it on fourth down when they should have kicked the field goal?" So you scratch your head a lot at what he does, and then you listen to his press conference, and you're like, "Oh God, this is hard to listen to."
I get that. But he's finding ways to win. I know he's beating up on these teams that they should be beating up on. And they're giving him an ass whooping every time. But, yeah, it's just a matter of getting it done in the playoffs. Can he beat a Lions team right now? Do you think he could beat a Lions team right now?
No, we don't beat the Lions.
I feel like you could. But I don't know if Sirianni's the guy to do it.
I feel like the only thing that can really stop both of our teams is the head coach. I think Dan Campbell's the one that could hurt them. As you saw, they should have beat the Niners last year in the NFC Championship game. Dan Campbell being overly aggressive, going for it when he shouldn't have, cost him. So I feel like in-game decisions could hurt both teams. Both the head coaches can. And my biggest fear for the Lions is if Ben Johnson leaves, what will your offense result to? Look at us with Steichen. When Steichen left, our offense wasn't as good. So when you lose a top-level coordinator, like I don't think Dan Campbell has much to do with like the play. He's not calling the plays. I don't know how much he does with designing and scripting the plays. So yeah, what happens when Ben Johnson finally decides, hey, I'm going to take this head coaching gig with this team? I don't know who that would be. It's only a matter of time. He's going to get it. He's going to be a head coach at some point. But when that would be my concern is how will the offense look when he leaves?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but we will see. With the Eagles, though, I don't know. I don't see many losses left on the schedule for the Eagles. Their schedule doesn't look that bad. I don't know if you looked into it. Have you looked into their schedule? Let's look at it together, shall we?
Next week we got the Ravens. We got the Steelers in a couple weeks at home.
That's my question to you. That's my question to you. So, do you think they lose both of those games?
Honestly, I'm more interested in the Steelers-Eagles game. I feel like that's a more Interesting matchup there. Two really good defenses going at it on the field, and two offense where, hey, there are some question marks with the quarterbacks there. So, is that a losable game? Yeah, I think it is. If I had to pick someone to win, I would lean the Eagles. Since you were schooling me about what my Eagles do during the games, I'll school you with something. I'll give you a little Eagles history. The last couple of times, dating back to the early 2000s, whoever has home field wins. If it's in Pittsburgh, the Steelers will win. If it's in Philly, Eagles win. I don't know how to explain that. It is what happens. So if I had to give an edge based off of that logic, and I know how good
Is
both
that
teams
Pittsburgh,
are,
you said?
I'm going with the Eagles because it is in Philadelphia.
The game's at Philadelphia. Okay. That Chase Claypool game back in the day. Where was that?
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh?
That was in Pittsburgh. Yep.
Okay.
I remember that game. Yep. I was
remember
down in
that
the
game
Keys
too.
watching that game. Yep.
Yeah, I was watching that game on TV. Yep.
The Travis Fulgham days. Yep. I remember that.
So, yeah, I feel like those are the only two potential losses. I feel like they beat the Rams here, right? Sunday night.
Yeah.
The Ravens, that could be a potential loss. The Panthers, they should fucking kill them. Steelers, that could be a potential loss. And then you even think the Commanders could be a potential loss. That was your words.
Yeah, it's the divisional game. Yeah, for sure.
Cowboys, they should steamroll them. They suck. They're awful.
Mm-hmm. And then you guys.
And then us.
But you guys aren't really a team.
Maybe
so
Tommy Cutlets is gonna.
Yeah.
What?
Well, no, it will be resting our starters probably by that point for that game.
We're resting our starter for the rest of the season. Daniel Jones, we're resting him.
Yeah, more like give him the middle finger.
No, he got $82 million guaranteed. He's fine.
Well, no, he's set for life. I can't say that. But I guess Saquon. Yeah, I recently said AJ Brown was our best player. It's Saquon Barkley. The offense runs through him. You know the run sets up everything. We're a run first team now. So Saquon Barkley, he run in the first half in that game. Wasn't getting a whole lot of yards, but eventually that wore out their defense. And they got some dogs on their defense too. They got like that Frankie Louvu guy, I think they got from Carolina. He can play. They got Jeremy Chin too. He can freaking play. And they're going to get Lattimore back in the mix, so don't forget that. So maybe that's why I'll still pick the Commanders, because they're going to get Marshawn Lattimore in there. So don't forget that. So, yeah, they got some dogs. So eventually they wore out, and then Barkley went bananas in the second half. So, honestly, I know I said Allen first for MVP, but I think I'm putting Saquon number 2, just from the impact he's had on the team. I think he is second in MVP.
I think I was gonna say it's either Allen or Saquon right now, just from like how much of an impact they made. Like honestly, I don't know. Saquon just plays the way he's been playing. He could honestly win it, but they're not going to give it to him because he's not a quarterback. He'll definitely win Offensive Player of the Year. I think that he will earn. But MVP, that could be tough with the way Josh Allen's been playing. But let's talk about.
Go ahead.
No. What were you about to say?
I was just going to say I have MVP right now. Like, if I give it top 4, Allen, I got Saquon 2, I give it Lamar 3, and then I got Derrick Henry 4.
Derrick Henry 4. Okay.
Yeah. He's had a tremendous impact. He's already over 1,000 yards rushing. He's insane. If I still think he's a better running back than Saquon, I think he's the best running back in football right now. But I think with Saquon, like with the scrimmage yards and everything, I will give him a slight edge. And it's a little bit nuanced because they're both valuable to the team. So if you want to give Derrick Henry MVP, no argument. There's not going to be no argument with me. He's sensational. I love the guy. So I think
Jared Goff's not in the running anymore.
Yeah, he could be. He's in the running. That they're the best team in football. He's been playing good, so you got to give him credit there. So you could throw him in the conversation. I won't be mad at that too.
He did have that one game of 5 picks, but we won't talk about that.
But they won though. That's the thing. That's a good football team when you're turning the ball over and you still find a way to win. That's a good football team. Yeah, that's a Super Bowl. That's a Super Championship level team.
Yeah. So, we'll see where the Eagles go from here. I think it's looking good.
The
It's
defense is
just
playing their ass off. I'm loving
yeah,
the Eagles defense. It's been the best part of watching it. They're just playing so well. And
yeah.
the weakest link, what do you think our weakness is?
Defensively,
No, just in general. Like, who's the worst player on our team?
the worst player on your team right now. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because I have mine.
You're gonna say
It
Jalen
is our
Hurts.
quarterback. Yep.
Yep.
He is the worst player on the team. When he goes in the huddle, I'm like, okay, our quarterback's the worst player in the huddle. Um, yeah, not to hate on the guy because he does play hard. He puts his body on the line, right? He runs hard. He takes some big hits, and he doesn't make the best throws. But I can understand why teammates play for him because of the way he plays. He plays hard, puts his body on the line, like I said. So he's a leader in that regard, and that's why if you're a team of that, you would like to play for someone that leaves it all out there. He does. So I can't take anything away from him in that regard. But there's just some bad throws, bad decisions that the guy makes. Tom Brady said in that Tampa game a few weeks ago, earlier in the season, that he has bad pocket presence, and that's true. A lot of the sacks he takes, like in that Cowboy game 2 weeks ago, the sacks were mostly on him for not getting rid of the football. And he's got to know when to get rid of it when there's nothing open. Just throw it away. He doesn't. He tries to bounce out of the pocket or he climbs up in the pocket, doesn't feel the pressure, and he takes a lot of sacks. So, yeah, I know we're getting a little bit constrained on time. I'll digress on the Hurts take for a little bit there, but
Yeah.
stay tuned with that. But, yeah, man, Jalen Hurts looks shaky. He's a very streaky quarterback.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd probably say, yeah, Hurts might be up there for contention for worst player. I don't know. And then safety wise, I'm not a big fan of CJ Gardner Johnson. I know you like him and all, but I feel like man coverage, he's just not the greatest. And he does get burned a lot. I feel like that's a weakness, but like he does bring, I guess, a type of energy to your team that you guys have been missing. Last year. So I feel like he does bring something to your team, and he's still a good player. It's just he's been a weaker point with coverage and everything. So that's who I would say on like the defense side of the ball. I don't know if you agree with that, but
Well, as a position group, the edge rushers a pretty weak position, but
yeah, you could say that as well.
Brandon Graham is like your best edge rusher in like his 16th season or whatever it is. Like he's played a lot of years, so and he's playing great football. I can't lie, he's still playing really good, but you need that young up and coming guy there. So edge rusher's been kind of weak. Yeah, CJ Gardner Johnson, I can understand that argument too. He hasn't been the best. He's more of a ball hawking safety. He's not a super great tackler. He can tackle. He's not the best at it. I feel like he's pretty good at rolling the coverage over, picking off, high pointing the ball, and intercepting it. That's what he was good at. That's what he's good at in 22 for us. But yeah, he's more of an energy guy, and I'm not mad with him starting or playing. The defense is playing well, so, and I think he's one of the reasons why, even though he's not the best player on our defense.
Yeah. So, and he could sing on the sideline with the little Cooper DeJean song. He's a singer.
Yeah, man. What can he do? Yeah, and the two rookies
Jack
are
of all
balling
trades.
too. Two rookies, man, are great players. Quinion's been great. Cooper's been great. So I've been really happy with that, as I said earlier, too. So I got to give him another shout out.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll stop talking about these dirty birds. I think we can end the podcast off there.
We could end it there. Yeah.
Running a little bit over time here, but
yeah.
if you guys did enjoy, drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We would really appreciate it. We got more content coming your guys' way. Look out on our social media pages, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Go follow that link tree down below. We got all our socials on there. Go listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. That's where you can find this podcast if you're on YouTube. If you want to, listen on the go check us out there. And any final words, Justin, before we end off today's episode?
Yeah, message to the Baltimore Ravens. 13 carries for Derrick Henry. 6 carries in the fourth quarter. What the fuck are you doing? The reason why you're not the best team in the AFC is because you shoot yourselves in the foot week after week after week. Get your shit together, man. You guys have a Super Bowl championship caliber team, and you shoot yourselves in the foot. Todd Monken, stop being too cute with it. Stop trying to throw the ball every play. Man, it's inexcusable. You have an elite running back. You got to feed him at least 20, 25 carries, man. At least somewhere in that range, man. You got to feed him the ball. That's when you had the most success in that game, was feeding Derrick Henry the rock, because he's so hard to bring down. I digress.
That wasn't expected. I wasn't expecting you to throw shade at the Ravens there, but as your final words. But okay. Now I know. The Ravens, you got to fucking step it up. But yeah, we can end it off there. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later. BenchWire.
Oh!